Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Luna over here. I'm a real estate agent here in Philly. In today's video, I want to teach you guys how to generate leads from not just the listing side, but also from the buyer side. Weeks ago, I did a video talking about how to generate leads as a listing agent. I shared some of the things that I do on a daily basis of like how I get listing. So I figured it would be pretty helpful if I could do a same type of video, but more talk about how to get listings on the buyer. I know a lot of you guys are new. When you are a brand new agent, sometimes it's easier for you to start working with the buyer first, just because it takes less time to nurture and a lot of your sphere may be at your same age group, so they're looking for buying a house. So it will be helpful to share some lights on how to get buyer leads. So the first tip that I have to say is by asking help around. When I first started, my first couple buyers are the buyers that I was asking my broker, I was asking the top listing agent in the office and see if they have extra buyers that are working with, or they just don't have the time to work with, or buyer who are very greedy and needy, always want to see a house like very short notice, you know, those buyers that people don't want to take on. I beg for those leads and I try to close sales through these buyers, and I have done a couple. Now that I'm a listing agent in the office, when I observe new agents in the office, I tend to give buyer leads to those people who are very hardworking, who are constantly in the office. So for example, today I have a great buyer lead and buyer consultation call, and I talked to the prospective buyer. I know what they're looking for, I know what price point they're looking for, I know their time frame. So I went outside and I saw Ivan, who is also on my team, and I told him about the situation. He sent the buyer a message right away and they connected 30 minutes after. So they are scheduling the time to go out and see houses. Also, you want to know everything about being a buyer agent. The good thing about referring to Ivan is he also has a license for mortgage. So when I have some questions about checking the income, get them a pre-approved letter, he will be so convenient just to do it on his own. So I don't have to worry about educating the buyer on what interest rate you can get when you have this certain type of credit score, stuff like that. So you want it to be the agent that has a great knowledge on the market and then on some information about the mortgage as well, just so when people are referring you a client, you don't have to go back to them and ask them a bunch of questions. Like, they're not there for your mentor, they're referring you a client just so you can take the weight off from their shoulder. Number 3 that I recommend you guys to do is to try like a buyer workshop or a buyer, you know, information on a assistant program that they can get as a first-time home buyer. So you can either do like a video form, or you can actually host a Zoom online buyer workshop to gather a bunch of buyers, and you can spread out, you know, those available and information that can help them. Number 4 is open houses. If you want to get direct buyers, I think having open house is good, although I'm not a great advocate of hosting an open house. I never really had that much of success. So that's why it's number 4 for me. And then the next one is sphere of influence. It's just like family members, people that you know, who's looking to buy, who's looking to sell. And the last but not least is paid ads. So I'm talking about here, obviously, is Zillow. You guys know I've purchased Zillow leads since I start. They're very expensive. So I will recommend you guys, if you want to pay for Zillow ads, you have to work as a full-time agent. Most of the time, if you prospect, get another 2 buyer agent that can work on the buyer side for you, because on Zillow, I will say 85% of the time you're getting buyer leads versus seller leads. So now I'm still paying for my Zillow because every time I get a buyer leads, I give it to my buyer agent so I can get a cut. But I also use Zillow as a platform to do advertising on myself in the local area. When a prospective seller went online, went on Zillow, type in the zip code, they can see my great review. They can see that I am a big listing agent in the area, that I sell a lot of houses. So now these are all the ways that can help you get buyer leads and generate buyer leads. And then at the end of the video, I want to talk about how to generate seller leads, which is something that I'm really good at. Definitely the pros and cons about getting seller leads is, especially in the market right now, you don't work as much when you sign the listing. It's like pretty much it's a done deal. You will get paid in a few months when you price the house, right? Whereas if you are a buyer agent, you are putting offers in every day. But if your buyer isn't educated enough, or your buyer doesn't want to move in the house right away, they're not motivated enough, you probably won't write a good offer to get it under contract, which is super stressful because a lot of agents are experiencing that, especially with the market being so hot and crazy right now. Anyway, let's get into the details about how to get seller leads. Number one, prospecting. I still do it prospecting, even though I'm 4th year in real estate. I still do it every day just because it gets my mind right. It makes me humble. I'm doing something that's a routine. It's good for me, and my business and my database will still maintain strong. So when I say prospecting, here is the traditional cold calling, where you call stranger prospect in the area, streets up and down. You calling them, saying the same script, asking them if they're thinking about selling their house. And if they say no, you go ahead and ask again, hey, what about a couple years down the road? Are you thinking about selling? Sometimes I'll throw in another one and be like, hey, do you know if anybody in the neighborhoods might be thinking about selling their house or buying? If you want to know the full script for cold calling, for sale by owner, expired listing, I do have a course linked down below. Feel free to go check it out. The number 2 way of seller leads is expired cancel listing, and then also for sale by owner. If you don't have Vulcan 7, which is the data that collect cancel and expire listing, I will suggest you guys just start out as a for sale by owner for 2 reasons. Number 1, for sale by owner love to talk, whereas expired listings, they just hung up the phone right away. And number 2 is with FSBO, you can find the phone numbers on Zillow, and it's completely free. You can just dial it with your phone. You don't even need a dialer. So it's definitely more efficient, and it's eco-friendly. You don't have to spend any money. Where Vulcan 7 is around like $300 a month, or you can sign a 6-month contract. It will be a little cheaper. Number 3 is for rent sign. I see a lot of mom and pop rental properties, and sometimes the owner is getting older. They want to get a retired. They don't want to deal with the rental property anymore. They will put like a really old-fashioned for rent sign right outside of the property. Usually it's a good sign to give them a call, asking them if they are thinking about selling. You're a realtor, what's the money they're looking for to get, and see if you can do a quick CMA. If that number will make sense, you know, have them maybe just list it and sell it. Sometimes they bought the property so long ago, they didn't even know that market is shoot up this high. Once you are the first person can educate them and really tell them how much they can be walking away, they will consider selling it. And that is a great way to, you know, definitely give them a call. And you don't need a dialer, because you can just dial them on your phone. And number 4 is local investor meetups. So this one is you're communicating with local investors in your area. You go to the meetups, introduce to them like what you do, you're an agent. Another downside about these local investor meetup is investors are usually pretty cheap. Even they let you list it, they might not give you the full commission. And sometimes the investor will probably know a few realtors already. So it'll be kind of challenging for you to just get the listing. It definitely takes time. I would say throw your business here and there, introduce them what you do, keep them in the contact if they have new flips coming up, and offer to do a CMA. And sometimes if you have a great deal, like off-market deal, throw it to them. You know, just keep the communication going, keep the relationship going. It's going to be challenging to actually get the listing, but that is definitely a way to get a listing as well. And number 5 is bigger pockets. So I know Steve has a bigger pockets account where he created like a few years ago. He has gotten investors directly through the Bigger Pockets website. I know it's unbelievable, but he has, I believe he closed a deal or 2 through Bigger Pockets. I personally have not had a profile, but I know it works. So if you guys are interested in just, you know, opening an account and then write some blogs on BiggerPockets, that will also kind of give you a leg up and help you get some buyers or seller leads. And number 6 is Airbnb host. So if you just type into Airbnb, there's a contact information on there. Try to talk to the owner, see if they're thinking about selling. It's the same method with the for rent sign. And the last but not least is mailing. Mailers send in, and it's called farming. So when I purchase Zillow leads on a specific area, I tend to want to make myself a local expert in that area. What I also do is I will, every time I send, like let's say I sold a property, I will print out and design a just sold cards. Keep in mind, I do not put the price on the just sold cards. I want them to call me, but I will write all the terms on there, like it's sold 3 weeks, selling it as is, no repair cost, and then I'll put my company information, my information on there. And believe it or not, I've been getting a couple phone calls from people who just wants to get a pricing. Sometimes I get a listing from those mailers. They are definitely kind of a lot of things to do. I know there are services where you can just, you know, put in the area. You don't have to do everything on your own, but I tend to like to do my postcard on my own. Sometimes I just watch TV and then I just put the stamps on. It doesn't really bother me. So that's also another way for me to get a listing as well. So I am going to end my video right here. All in this video is all the ways that I have used or I have seen people who are using that's been, you know, succeeded in generating leads. If you guys have any other recommendation, feel free to leave a comment down below. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Thank you so much for watching. And here's Stinky, and I don't know if you guys can hear him like running in the background. If you do, I apologize. But I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.